We give the people what they want.
Jalen, the coronavirus crisis in the NFL continues, and no one is sure if Tom Brady knows what down it is, but we start with the NBA because tonight is the night where we have Game 5 of the NBA Finals, and the Lakers and LeBron have a chance to finish the series this evening. And LeBron James had this to say about his legacy. Let's listen to the King.
Don't really think about it too much. I think the story would be told how it's supposed to be told and be written how it's supposed to be written, but I don't live my life thinking about legacy. What I do off the floor is what means more to me than what I do on the floor.
Legacy, I don't really think about it too much. Jalen Rose, do you believe LeBron when he says that?
He's at work right now at the NBA Finals, and the job isn't complete. He can't be up there crowning himself a four-time champion before it takes place, especially going against the Miami Heat culture that he knows so very well. LeBron is a student of the game. He understands the legacy conversations have happened and will continue to happen. He also fuels them when he can, because he once said that winning in Cleveland made him the GOAT in his mind. And I'm pretty sure for 17 years, you could go back and find a lot of clips of him talking about legacy and talking about MJ and some of the great players that have come before him, because he's a basketball historian.
Absolutely. He said himself in, I think it was the barber shop where he said, I considered that championship made me the greatest of all time. He also said after that championship, he was speaking to children, and he said that he's chasing the ghost in Chicago. He does think about his legacy, but here's what he does that's so smart. He says, I don't think about it too much. He didn't say I don't think about it. He said, I don't think about it too much, because he definitely thinks about it. And something tells me that when we have a show on Monday, this is what we will be discussing: LeBron James's legacy. Do you think that come next week or the week after that he will address the fact that he is chasing Michael Jordan and he does want that GOAT title?
Of course he is. Of course he should, and rightfully so. He's going to be amongst players with 4 Finals MVPs and 4 regular season MVPs. That's historic company. Those are hollow walls, Jacoby. I've covered and or played against LeBron his entire career. Each time he's won or lost the championship, I was present. This is the first time I physically won't be there. And so for LeBron to do it with the Lakers, it's going to be extremely impressive. He deserves these conversations to start happening.
You know, I never really thought about this, Jalen. LeBron has been to so many NBA Finals, but you've been to more NBA Finals. You just weren't playing, but you've been to a lot of NBA Finals. You were just not in uniform when you got there. So, Jalen, we need you to rely on that experience, your experience in the locker room and in the league, and I need you to take us behind the curtain. So, Jalen, in that huddle, in that locker room, with a chance to win the NBA championship, what does LeBron James tell his Laker teammates before they take the floor?
See, they made the ultimate sacrifice already. That was entering the bubble during the social unrest, during COVID-19. That was the ultimate sacrifice. And now it becomes the crowning achievement. You notice that other teams probably wasn't as disciplined. Looking at you, Clippers, and it probably cost them an opportunity to make their goals happen. Now all of a sudden, LeBron James looks up, and there's no other skyscrapers in the building, in the sky, Jacoby. He's the reigning superstar that has a chance to eclipse something great. So he's telling his teammates, it's do or die. This is the Miami Heat. Don't give them no extra games. Don't get ejected. Don't get no stupid technical fouls. Continue to stay disciplined, stay focused. Make your open shots, KCP and Morris, and continue to give us toughness. AD, you continue to attack the paint and give us physicality. Rondo is a floor general. He understands what this takes. Don't continue to give the Miami Heat confidence. Get it over with ASAP. That has to be the message.
So, Jalen, that was really eloquent. That's probably very close to what LeBron James is telling the team, because you look at it like a player. I look at it like a coach. And I've told you what my game plan is. If I'm the coach, if I'm Frank Vogel, I'm going right to the whiteboard and I'm saying, if you win tonight, we fly home tomorrow. If you win tonight, we fly home tomorrow. That's all the motivation you need. Forget the X's and O's. Forget all that championship legacy talk. We can leave Orlando, Florida if we win tonight. That is my strategy. So, Jalen, we've seen Anthony Davis dominate in Game 1 and Game 2, and in the game they lost, Game 3, he kind of no-showed. What do you think the key is for Anthony Davis getting back to that Game 1 and 2 performance?
He just got to have a level of aggression and keep himself off of the floor. Like, what ends up happening is you're driving to the bucket to try to get contact, and then sometimes if you don't get the call or somebody roll into you, you end up behind the play and create 4-on-3, 5-on-4 situations. I just want him to stay upright and continue to be aggressive. And he's made some huge shots, and his biggest shots actually have been threes. The game-winning three, the late three that he hit in the previous game. Now, if he can have that level of productivity by catching the ball in the paint and being a finisher, then the Miami Heat will not extend this series. He has to be the difference.
When you look at the numbers of Anthony Davis, and we all look at that Game 3 performance where he kind of no-showed, but what he's been doing defensively is really impressive in these finals. When he is the contesting defender, they're shooting 35%. That's close to the basket, too. They're only 15 for 43 when Anthony Davis is on defense, and we saw him pick up Jimmy Butler in the last game. So while he might not have the gaudy numbers that he had from 1 and 2 on offense, what he's doing on defense is a key part to them taking this commanding 3-1 lead.
That was the exact same thing when he won a championship in Kentucky. He doesn't necessarily have to be a volume player. Like, defense is actually his anchor. Rebounding and defense is his anchor. And then he became a terrific offensive player.
That's a really good point. Now, Jalen, for the Heat to make this a series, for them to get to 3-2 after winning Game 5, what do they need? What is their game plan to win tonight?
Physicality from Bam. He was a step slow in the previous game, and rightfully so. He had missed a couple of games. That late Rondo layup, that late KCP layup, that late jump shot we just talked about AD, normally Bam is a lot more effective on those plays. You see that big game-saving block against the Celtics? You see him go down the lane and dunk on all of Boston with two hands right there? That's the Bam the Heat are going to need if they're going to extend this series.
Bam likes to dunk with two hands. When he's around the basket, he likes to go up with 2 feet and dunk with two hands. And I noticed Game 4 that he wasn't really dunking like that. There was a dunk opportunity that actually turned into a layup. And Bam's game has been so effective that it turned off your screen behind you. It turned off the screen behind you. That's what we need. We need Bam to light it up like you just lit up the screen behind you. You took everybody behind the curtain on that one. Those aren't real pictures behind Jalen Rose. It's actually a monitor that goes off from time to time. Jimmy Butler said that there is no pressure on the Heat. Now, Jalen, after being in the bubble for almost 100 days, and being down 3-1 in the NBA Finals, don't you feel like there is pressure on the Heat to win tonight?
How about this? That's the beauty of these finals, and that's why the Lakers seemingly going to win easy, because there's really no pressure on them either. Because if you look at the landscape of the West, they didn't have to face the Clippers. And in the East, nobody anticipated that the Heat would be here. Goran Dragic led them in scoring once they got to the finals. Goran Dragic, okay? He was a reclamation project that came in for Kendrick Nunn, who was second in Rookie of the Year race. That was Eric Spoelstra putting together chess pieces in order to build around Jimmy Butler and Bam, who became an all-star and a most improved candidate, and now they're in the finals. And then unexpectedly, without Bam and Goran, Jimmy has a 40-point triple-double. That's why we can't go to sleep on the Heat tonight, because they do the unlikely, because they're a squad that has things happen throughout the game that don't necessarily show up in the stat sheet, a level of grit and a level of toughness. That's why I said AD got to attack the paint and be aggressive, in particular early.
Well, you can't go to sleep on the Heat, and if you went to sleep on the Thursday night football game, you missed a very interesting finish between the Buccaneers and the Bears. Take a look at this last play from the greatest to ever do it, Tom Brady, the GOAT. Incomplete pass, terrible ball, completely covered, tight end right there. But wait a second, that was 4th down. Tom does not know what down it is. Bruce Arians said that he did know it was 4th down. Clearly he is confused. What did you think about the finish last night in the NFL?
So everyone has to understand when you do an analysis on these all-time greats like LeBron James and Tom Brady, you're talking about the moment. It's not about career achievement. We're talking about what happened last night in the football game. And what I saw last night in the football game, to be honest, as somebody that saw Joe Montana play for the Chiefs or whatever, I don't want to see too many seasons of Brady in Tampa. That's what I saw, Jacoby. And you know that's my fellow Michigan Wolverine, and I want to see him get a ring. But, dog, anytime the level of emotion and the anger that he had toward that situation at his age, he was fuming with that situation, Jacoby. And then, if I was one of those offensive linemen, and this is where I go Dave Chappelle, he was yelling at me earlier, right? If they're going to win a Super Bowl, you know how it works on the winning team. You know how it works. When everybody makes a mistake, each other are accountable. But on the bad team, we pointing fingers. So now, for him at the end of the game, not knowing the clock, using the 4 fingers, what did they say to the face? Slap. If somebody would have came up to him and did that in the locker room afterwards, I say they win it all this year. But since that did not happen, they will not win it all this year.
Well, Jalen, we have some breaking news about new coronavirus complications in the NFL. We will tell you about that and much more. Stay tuned. You're watching Jalen and Jacoby.
I love you, Tom Brady.
To you live from Pier 17 in the South Street Seaport District of Manhattan and brought to you by Chase. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen, it is time for the segment where you decide what we discuss. It's Keep It Moving.
Woo! Chang! Woo! Chang!
If you want to discuss the topic, say hit the brakes. If not, we will keep it moving. We have some breaking news about coronavirus complications in the NFL.
Hit the brakes.
Keep moving or hit the brakes. The Bills Titans game is going to be moved to Tuesday night. Also, the Jets have potential coronavirus complications in their locker room. How do you think this is all going to play out moving forward this season?
I have some broken news for the NFL. Your players aren't quarantining. Once outbreaks happening, you're not in a bubble. COVID-19 cases continue to rise. The death toll continues to increase. You're already suspending and canceling games. You gotta press pause on the season and recalibrate your thinking. You're not going to get to 16 games. You're going to play a couple of games, and your marquee people are going to be in and out. I just saw Kansas City play against the Patriots, and you know what happened? There was no Cam Newton. You guys have to figure it out. It won't be 16 games. It's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to do it. I'm not going to be able to do it.
Moving on, Jalen, to Major League Baseball. The Dodgers have advanced. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
The Dodgers swept past the Padres. They're now going to the National League Championship Series, and one man comes to mind, and that is Irving Magic Johnson. Do you think he is more invested in the Lakers' playoff chances or the Dodgers' playoff chances?
I'm trying to tell you, man. Magic is that deal, and I know people get a chance to appreciate LeBron James' greatness. Do you guys understand the Hall of Fame mogul is getting rings with the Dodgers and the Lakers as a player, executive, GM, and owner? This dude got like about 12 rings. That's why I wear a goatee, because of Magic Johnson. Hey, man, this dude about to get a ring in the same year with the Lakers and the Dodgers. They just signed Mookie in the offseason. That's what's going to put them over the top.
Huge game, not in the SEC, but in the ACC this weekend in college football. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
Jalen, I know that you love the University of Miami. You probably, deep down in your heart, love the University of Miami football team more than you love the Wolverines of Michigan. Can they pull off an upset and beat Trevor Lawrence and Clemson this Saturday night?
See, these are the type of atmospheres that allow upsets to take place. If there were fans in the stands, like 60, 70,000's worth, I would say no. Trevor Lawrence would have his way. But that Miami Hurricanes defense, with a lot of crowd noise, the ghosts of some of the greats like Warren Sapp and Ray Lewis and Benny Blades. Miami wins this game.
I love it. I love it because Miami's going to lose in basketball. They might as well win in football. I have the Hurricanes with this upset as well. Jalen, we have a matchup between two very unlikely 3-1 teams this Sunday. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
You got to Google that picture with me and my Miami crew neck. I got to see the Browns do it against a good team. Keep it moving for now.
We keep it moving. We keep it moving.
The Cowboys could do something unthinkable this Sunday.
Hit the brakes.
Keep it moving or hit the brakes. The Cowboys could lose to the New York Football Giants. No one has lost to the Giants this year. If the Cowboys lose to the Giants, what happens next?
If the Cowboys lose to the Giants, then I'm just dead wrong, because this is about what we saw the Cleveland Browns and Odell be able to break out last week. That's what's going to happen with the Cowboys this week. Ezekiel Elliott goes over 150. He has 2 touchdowns rushing, 1 out of the backfield. Dak still throws for 350 and 3 touchdowns. The Dallas Cowboys win this football game.
I think they do easily. Moving on, we have an undefeated team that people don't really respect going up against the Eagles. Steelers-Eagles, keep moving or hit the brakes.
All I know is this. Whatever the coach in Carolina got paid to leave college and oversee their team, when is Mike Tomlin getting one of those deals? Keep it moving.
Keep moving.
We keep it moving. We keep it moving.
Jalen, it's time for a signature segment of Jalen and Jacoby. Soft move or boss move? I want to make sure I get this right. Now, you and I are part of a power couple, so we don't slide into DMs. But Quavo has released to the world how he slid into the DMs of Sweetie, and he did it with an emoji. All he did was just send a snowflake emoji, and that is what led to their relationship. Snowflake emoji as your first move in the DMs, soft move or boss move?
It's a boss move. I would have think that's something Jeezy the Snowman would have did to land his lovely bride that he has right now. So absolutely, this is a boss move. Big shout to Quavo, fellow lefty Fab Five fan. It's only right that he closed the deal. That's my guy.
Absolutely.
Boss move.
I think what's underrated about this story, if you could put that up on the screen again, is her response. Like, she got the snowflake, and then she was like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm just going to send back some ramen noodles, and just see how it goes. I really appreciate what she's doing. A lot of discussing about LeBron James and Michael Jordan and who's the greatest and Mount Rushmore and all of that. But someone whose opinion you hold very, very highly, Isaiah Thomas of the Detroit Pistons, says that LeBron James is the greatest player of all time. What do you think about that statement from this source?
I stand on the shoulders of giants, and this is my favorite picture of 2 of my favorite people who happen to play basketball of all time. I'm a Detroit native, a diehard Bad Boys fan. I rooted against Michael Jordan his entire career. But now I'm on this side, and I know it's my professional responsibility and duty to actually say what I see. But you know what? I wasn't in uniform, getting elbowed by Michael Jordan. I wasn't actually in those battles when we won, because the Pistons and Isaiah beat Magic, Bird, and Jordan more than they lost. And when we finally lost to them, it was a painful moment. And they kept me off the dream team, so the tie is going to always go to the runner. So if LeBron's in the race and MJ's in the race, Isaiah's going to pick LeBron.
We will be back Monday at 2 o'clock on ESPN. Dan Le Batard is next.
Bad boy.